Hey everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the fastest Gloom farms Immortal Shell 2 to get your character maxed out with shell points as quickly as possible. I'll be showing off some glitches here as well as some natural ways to farm Gloom, as there are actually multiple spots in game that can give us crazy returns on investment. What you're seeing here is us getting massive Gloom, 3600 to be exact, in seconds. This is actually a pretty cool glitch here. This one is late game, but I will be talking about some earlier game options, so if you're stuck on some of the final bosses of the game, this is the best method to help overcome that, because you can get 3600 every second that we refresh this beacon here, as we're having enemies just fall completely off the map. So to do this, we'll be coming to the Brother's Court here. Now the thing is, we want to go to Marrowkeep to get this to work, because you can see we're getting the Gloom from enemies that are loading into the game. The thing is, they're loading in and falling off the map. This does not unfortunately give us Tarstone XP, but it will give us the Gloom there to level up. So I'll go through this exploit here, and then I'll talk about some of the other methods to farm. So we're going to come back to Marrowkeep here. What you got to do is get to the later section of the game where we have a new spot. So you will be able to go through Marrowkeep here. You will have to take out the enemy that is, or the guy that's just right here. But once that is done, we are then going to come down here and go through the entirety of this. Now follow this exact path. It'll load in enemies for us, and what that's going to do is allow us, once we get to that beacon, to refresh them endlessly. So I'm just going to quickly run through this entire run. This has to be done if you're not experiencing the glitch working properly. So we're just going to run straight ahead here. We do have to get the enemies that will be just up ahead to spawn in. So do not fight them. What we're going to do is, you see all these enemies here, you want to have them come on out of the little spots that they're in. We're going to group them all up here. Do not fight them though. We're just going to run straight past them, make sure that they are all spawning in all right. What I think is happening is this certain spot of the map is just not spawning in, but they are, since we have them in our world. I did test this out a few different ways, and if you go further away and spawn in other enemies, it doesn't work properly, so there likely is some number of enemies. Don't interact with this beacon. We're actually running straight past this thing. We're going to go to the left. Jumping up there, do not do that either. That takes us to a completely different spot. What we're going to do is run through this cave here. There's another beacon there. Don't click on that one either. We're just going to continue to run through this little spot here, run over to the side. This is going to warp us over to where we just were at Brother's Court. So just continue along here, looks at Proxima, and you'll be soon here in just 1 second. Continue along, there is going to be a little spirit stream here we can jump through, taking us up to this bone teleporter, which is exactly where we need to go. Now there's another enemy up here. They don't get respawned, but the thing is, you want to watch out for them because they'll one-shot you. Another thing to note is if you're in hard mode or the night mode, you're going to get more Gloom, and you see that there. This deloaded the map from what I imagine and kept the enemies in. So once that happens, we got to run over to this beacon as quickly as possible, and what you're going to do is just go ahead and refresh the beacon and back out of it. So you're going to see the Gloom stream will come towards our character here in just 1 second. There we go, 3600 Gloom, 3667, and then just back out of it and refresh. This will continually keep spawning in the enemies, and you can do this as fast as you possibly can to get this going quickly. So this gives us 3600 in about a second. This gets really crazy. You can get hundreds of thousands, and there is no max level. But this isn't the only Gloom farm that we have. There's actually a few others that work very well, but this is by far the fastest. I do want to include some more in case this does get taken out of the game, because it is likely, as you can see here, we're getting so much Gloom without any effort ever required. But again, word of warning, it will not give you Tarstone XP, which is also quite important, but you should know to work on things like the Duality Stone for using that to level them up. Now this next farm is actually really funny because it's also going to give us Futilium. What's funny about this is it can give us a ton of this as well as Gloom, and there's actually a way to keep all this. So this is another late game one. You do have to make it to the hidden nave. So when you make your way to this beacon, it's one of the last ones in the game before we fight the boss, but again, this is going to be nice for leveling up. You're going to go in to enter it. Now when you're in there, you're going to run through. You will have to pick up a torch that is by the fire when you first get in the room, so there will be a little torch. Don't miss it, grab it. You'll walk through the fog here, which will take us to another room. So again, yeah, grab that torch and walk forward. This will then lead to another room that has a ton of Futilium, and you can grab this and it will refresh, and this actually stays in your inventory, and we can make the Gloom stay in our inventory as well. Because after we run through all of this, we're going to make our way to a chest with tons of Gloom in it. Now, the only problem about this section is it is a troll where it makes you give up the Gloom to leave. So the way around this is we can actually just do this a bunch, grab all the chests that you want, and then go into your inventory and just back out to the main menu. Load back into the game and you'll be right outside the hidden nave, so you can just use this to warp back to Marrowkeep and use all the Gloom that you just got for free, because you keep it all when you leave, or you can just enter it again, pick up the torch, carry the flame, and grab everything all over again. So yeah, this one is pretty funny because you literally can just go back into your inventory and leave and keep repeating this, or go back to Marrow Keep. But don't worry, we do have some more here that can get you XP for Tar cores as well. One of the best early game ones is going to be the Gloomshade Grove here. This is very early on in the game, and the best part about this is it's actually one of the best in the late game too. There are a couple others that I'll talk about. I'm doing this in night mode so you get more XP here, and you're just going to run out. They have crazy aggro range, so they're literally just going to come after you right at the start here, but use whatever shell that you got on the go here. We're going to take out these Grisha Hunters here as quickly as possible, just clearing them out, and then there's going to be another tree fella over here that we also want to aggro. So I like to try and grab them all as quickly as possible, and then you can go in with whatever ability Tar core that you have equipped on your character and then blast away. Or for Proxima, we just use her ability there, which has some crazy lightning abilities. And what you're going to do is just clear these out as fast as possible and then go and respawn the beacon here, because you can literally just go ahead and do that fast. That was not super ideal, but yeah, you can just approach them a little bit better. I'm just talking to a camera to make this a little bit more challenging for myself. But yeah, once you have all of them taken care of, we're then just going to run back to the beacon and respawn them just by using that. So in night mode, they are a little bit more challenging, and yeah, you can get overwhelmed if you grab them all one at a time, but refresh at the beacon, go at them, and do it one at a time, I should say. So yeah, this is really simple because it literally will just respawn them. It's the closest that you can get to it. They have a ridiculous aggro range, but yeah, use whatever tricks you got up your sleeve. Proxima is a great one. The Axatana, which I don't have equipped, is another weapon that I prefer to use here, but we just got to use this ability here. You can strike lightning to all three of them, so you can take them out pretty quickly. Again, this is in night mode, so they end up having a bit more scaling here, so that does make things a little bit more challenging, but this is a solid one, but not the best. Now, the reason this is so good is we have 11,355 there for our XP on the Charcone. Take out an enemy and we'll get our Tarstone even more XP there. So you see it there, we get about 200 per pop whenever you're in hard mode. So this is great if you also want to farm Gloom and get the Tarstone XP. And honestly, that one will work great until you get to the later game. And yeah, actually, it still works amazing at the very late stage of the game, but those two that I showed prior are a bit better. Now, this final one here is in the Faithful Shelter. This is in the Unfound Path, so it's actually very close to Breather's Court here. But with this one, we're coming to the Faithful Shelter, and we're just going to run back way over here. There's going to be a bunch of different enemies in this spot here. So this one is also great for Tarstone XP, as well as getting you a ton of Gloom. Because what we can do is come down to the next one, and there's a little bug fella here that gives us a ton of Gloom. I'm used to playing teal. I'm just messing around with this Proxima setup here, but when you clear all of these here, they give a ton of Gloom as well as XP. So we're at 11,555, and after one kill the bug, that's 200 more. But they also give a insane amount of Gloom here too, so yeah, you can just go ahead with taking all these out and you're going to get a ton of Tarstone XP. And after you clear this section here, we're then going to run down and go over to that section where we have this knight here who's going to, yeah, he's a fun one. And he will give us a good amount of Gloom here. And all in all, about 10 minutes of farming here got us enough for 13 levels from level 50. I'm not going to go past that. I found level 50 to be more than enough, but this is a quick and easy way to max out all your shells, get the shells points, and just general Gloom to level up if you're finding this game to be a little bit struggling. I do have guides on how to defeat all the bosses in the game as well, so if you're stuck, you can check out my channel for more, as well as I have different builds for all the characters too. So if this video is useful, please hit the subscribe button below. Appreciate the support, and I hope you guys all have an incredible day. We'll catch you in the next one.